afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, hero-like defender of the fatherland. Often exciting, riveting, amazing 1v1 right here on Fenwell Approach. Again, with me, Imperial Dane, your Lord and Master, your God, your very own personal Jesus. We got here fortifications, Luftwaffe, and spec ops here for BabyuBu. We'll just call him Bernard because, by God, still really just want to slap someone with that kind of name. So Bernard here fighting for the German army of Deutschland. In particular, I have to keep calling it out in any way. It's just brr. Anyways, Bernard fighting for the German army of Deutschland, taking on the road over the 3rd SS Panzer Division Totenkopf. Fighting on here against the Russian, a vicious counterattack to try and stall a Russian armored assault under the command of Jimmy, fighting Hoi-Jimmy, specifically 890, fighting for the Red Army for the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps. And he's got motor and Guard Rifle, as I was about to say, and armored assault tactics with a double conscript start here versus the Oberkommando West. Seems like conscript builds are beginning to catch on versus the Oberkommando West. Previously, it's just been heavy penal trooper builds, but seems like here Jimmy is sort of deciding, he wants conscripts. He wants something with a bit more flash and flare, a bit more, brownish yellow. Point there secured. Northern field, there's a couple of conscripts moving in there, but they're going to encounter the Sturmpioneer with their Sturmgewehr 44, or the MP44. You can even call it the MP43. There was really no difference between the three weapons. It was basically just naming. Mostly of it, bureaucracy at that. Heavy wiring off here for Jimmy. Got the point there, sandbagged off. 3rd conscript around there for Jimmy as the Sturm Pioneers for Fultz moving in aggressively. We've got a Kuban banging up here though for Bernhard as well. An interesting move there again versus the Soviets. Normally wouldn't do this because scout cars, but if there's a sort of, shall we say, meta change this that involves a lot more conscripts, then suddenly the Kuban not becomes a lot more viable against the Soviets once more. So an interesting change there. Sturm Pioneer there, having grabbed the point. We can see Jimmy's sort of trying to play around for now. He's not going to try and engage with Sturm Pioneers head on. Jimmy knows that's silly. At least not without a lot more rifles to deal with them. Pushing back the Volksgrenadiers in down here, and then Years being engaged by Kuban and the Volksgrenadiers. Could see a wipe that is not careful, and there go does retreat. Sandbags up. This will help Jimmy defend against the fascist scourge. Jimmy there going for the 4th conscript squadron. Of course, all this is happening down south. He's got a few others moving about here under the movements and leadership of Sergeant Petrov, a veteran of many engagements and a few purges. More forces there done for Bernhard. Triple Volksgrenadiers. We have no upgrades yet here for Jimmy's conscripts, no Molotovs, no anti-tank grenades, and certainly no sign of the medics either. Though with this sort of build, Guard Rifle could be an option there. Lots of submachine guns. You don't have to go it, obviously, but it does mean in that way bring a bit more to bear in terms of firepower long term. Although Scout mode, of course, will probably be a good choice here. Bernhard not showing any signs of tech there immediately. Probably going to go for the mechanized regiment into Luxus. Usually at this stage, most Oberkommando West players would be going for the battlefield headquarters, but there's no sign of that, so I'm more inclined to think here that Bernhard is thinking mechanized regiment. Of course, it's still popular to an extent, but it has been slightly declining popularity a bit, and then it's going to go for a Luxus and possibly a Puma. Fultz have been caught by the conscripts trying to lay down sandbags, but ultimately the conscripts nonetheless prevail their faith in the motherland and a nice vodka ration allowing them to pull through. Fun fact, some Soviet commanders would in fact report higher numbers actually being available so they can get larger vodka rations for the men and probably pocket some of them themselves. Little fun fact there. Comes to the need to fall back soon up north point, then short again another attempt at sandbag, and this time leaving it to a fresher squad, allowing the depleted squad to grab the point here behind. Very clever move there, ensures he can still grab some territory while not necessarily just waste time. They can just quickly retreat it afterwards anyways. It's a good play there. Jimmy with, I imagine, some few mines here to help protect his calf point. He's securing the north part of the road. Down there, secure at the south. There we go. We got the truck on the way, the Schwere Wehrmacht Schlepper. Should not be confused with the Landwasser Schlepper, I believe the name was, which was sort of the water tractors, sort of meant for Operation Sea Lion, I imagine their stuff there. Little fun note. Look very different, by the way. Was I believe it actually based off the Panzer IV chassis to a bit of a degree. But yeah, that's probably going to be the mechanized regiment. It does have a lot of Volksgrenadiers. In some cases players will go for the battle group headquarters there, but considering how late it is, kind of, at least to me, feels more like he's going to end up with the mechanized regiment into Lux. But there's always room for being wrong. Back here, troops in reinforcement, got medics up there for Jimmy. Was yet to sort of go for anything further. No tech up, no doctrinal choices either. So we'll see what it ends up with here for Jimmy. versus Bernhardt. Both players are certainly hard at work. Bit of grabbing here. Note though, rule in many cases, Jimmy is not necessarily looking to fight a lot of engagements with Bernhardt early on. As you might notice, he's just running around the sides of the map, but he's just basically, you know, making hit and run attacks if necessary, just harassing. If he has to, of course, he'll try and probably not overwhelm a unit, but this is, you know, sort of how you usually fight conscripts most efficiently. You're not looking to fight and win every engagement. You're looking just to harass, drive your opponent nuts, and then when he's beginning to extend, you then sort of concentrate your forces that way, sort of winning that way. Basically, it's very much a strategy about destruction in detail. Like, you just force your opponent to split up, and then you just sort of overwhelm them locally here and there. If you can sort of master those kinds of tactics, you can actually do quite well with conscripts. Fun fact. Point there being grabbed, point here being grabbed, constantly retreating away. Note that the way he's doing it, he wants to avoid, you know, immediately getting run into a lot of trouble, getting, you know, unnecessary casualties. But there goes Southern Fuel Point now being grabbed. Support and company up here for Jimmy. Could see Maxims, could see Mortars. No, he does go for the battle group headquarters. So, kind of was thinking with this sort of lateness he'd be going for it, but in the end, battle group headquarters does also make sense with all the infantry has. Might be a flak half track, or he might just try and rush straight ahead. In which case, he'll probably get a few MG-34s to help deal with Jimmy's infantry. Conscripts indeed going for the calf point. We can see there now Jimmy's starting to get a bit more bolder, he's getting a bit more aggressive. Part of it's also because he knows a large chunk of Bernhardt's forces in the north, so again he can just easily get away with concentrating here, and that will overwhelm them, quickly down mines. Overall tactically very astute play there by Jimmy. We got the Maxim out there as well, troops are reinforcing, healing, getting vodka. Wait, Petrov, that's antifreeze, who cares? And actually, there was an issue with Russian troops drinking antifreeze. Another fun fact is the Germans, I believe, briefly considered actually poisoning a lot of alcohol and just leaving it for the Russians to pick up, but I believe they decided against it. I can't remember there was a reason given for it. Sturmpioneers moving about there with minesweepers. He's clearly, of course, aware of the potential here of Jimmy laying down mines. Maxim there covering at the centre, so it creates a very large no-go zone there for Bernhardt. It's going to require artillery to flush out. He's going for the light infantry gun there to back up his troops. And go push from the north. We've got a few assault rifles up here for Bernhardt with the Sturmgewehrs there. Up north, we've got the country being pushed back. Forces there being suppressed. Others moving southwards. Almost got the southern nations point here. Very good overall so far. Jimmy, though, despite not necessarily winning all the engagements, the way he's been playing, he's still been able to maintain good map control because he's finding the ones he can win and then just otherwise harassing the stuffing out of Bernhardt. So definitely think something worth keeping in mind if you're struggling with the certs and, you know, trying to learn a bit from. Anti-tank grenades on the way here. He might be expecting the mechanized regiment, of course, and just want to prepare for a flak half track. Either way, Jimmy's committing to it. He's also going for gut motor, calling in a heavy mortar, some serious artillery there. Interesting move. Partly with a figure, you know, submachines for all these conscripts, but it's not necessarily a requirement as long as you then make sure of using other elements that carry out long term for the conscripts. And of course, in this case, the T-3045s will very much be carrying some serious weight long term. Shifting the machine gun there, so as he hears the artillery fire of the light infantry Geschütz, it does make a distinct sound, so if you hear it, you know what's coming. Troops are getting blasted by machine gun fire. Infantry as well, got forces trying to flank up. He catching the constant negative cover. Good play there by Bernhardt. Got the heavy mortar moving up there. And we could see a wipe. He was actually not careful. I mean, these units are actually quite deadly exposed. And yup, that looks like a wipe. Apparently it wasn't. That's impressive. That's really good luck there for Jimmy. I was pretty sure those conscripts would have been dead. Apparently they managed to pull through. Trot on the way there for Bernhardt. That's likely one of the Schwerpanzer's quarters. In which case this has basically been a Schwerpanzer quarters rush. Mine goes off, almost takes out the Kuhwagen. The Kuhwagen somehow survives it. My God, Otto, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Kubelwagen isn't. There's bits of metal everywhere there isn't supposed to be. I think the back seat is actually perforated. Assault rifles on the way there. So basically going to be 4 assault rifles here. Take up there for Jimmy. Imagine the truck's going to set up around here to cover the fuel pump, making it harder there for Jimmy to harass it. Bernhardt going here for the southern fuel pump with his full Grenadier. Troop ceiling reinforcing. And Hoi-Jimmy getting ready for the next push, grabbing point C, grabbing point C with a maximum as well. Playing aggressively, pressuring the fascists. The fascists are certainly trying to pressure back here. All the way over here? I mean, I guess that's a place to set up as well, that does seem a bit stranger. Hitting the fuel point there, we can see that Bernhardt's got to get a bit more aggressive with the zone harassment as well. So far it's been Jimmy that's more aggressive there, but Bernhardt realises he needs to get a bit more in there as well. He needs to put on his really dirty jack boots rather than ones, you know, for parade. Pulling out the assault rifles, anti-tanking over the Kugelwagen, damaging its engine again, leaving the Kugelwagen once more in a precarious state of integrity. Maximum there being pushed back by the Volksguns, heavy assault rifle fire here, and plus a regular rifle fire there pushes back Jimmy's forces. The artillery, of course, certainly not making things easier. Schwerpanzer, of course, does go up here by the fuel point. Forces there being shot at a bit, but they're getting a lot more firepower down as the conscripts they need to fall back. In the south, troops being pushed back as well. Almost got them there, and back here, nothing further going on. Obviously, I imagine there's going to be some orbital loading out soon enough. We'll obviously go for infant assault rifles that way, add some firepower, or if he'll just stick to light machine guns. He's certainly some time off on armour. As for Jimmy, he's pushing straight for the T-70 light tank. Good choice there, in particular since Bernhardt has absolutely no anti-tank weapons. Meaning a T-70 is going to be an absolutely amazing choice here. Versus Bernhardt. Absolutely amazing. Barbed wire up there. Not exactly the most thorough barbed wire work there, to be honest. And there we go. Bernhardt going for the orbital darden. Moving ahead here using detection. Which basically just means turning on the radio, because I'm guessing the Russians were pretty terrible with their radio discipline, which wasn't actually too uncommon. Hell, I believe the Germans had some great successes for something normally just by listening into the Allied radio lines, and in one case was able to capture an entire radio truck with everything in it. Sadly, High Command did not actually act on the information, otherwise things could have probably looked a bit different there. We're getting out on the way there for Bernhardt, though, to help deal with the T-70 for very obvious reasons. The T-70 is otherwise a massive threat to him and his infantry. Focusing on the centre so far, we've got the Indians flanking the caught by the Sturmpioneers, the Volks as well. Heavy assault rifle fire there, plus the MD on the Kugelwagen. Once more fixed up, so could do with a bit more. There we go, push for the fuel point is immediately thwarted here by the Schwerpanzer quarters, which leaves several conscripts dead in the dirt. The Kidnap out. Still some time for any armor, but he's not too far off either in theory here versus that. I mean, you can theoretically actually go for a Panzer IV pretty soonish if you just need to maintain fuel control for a bit longer. Whereas Jimmy's Knights, the one that was going to be a bit struggling versus a Panzer IV. Also aggressive harassment in the south, hitting the fuel point and the munitions. Back here healing enforcement. Having mortified their landing on the unfortunate faults of the T-70 just to make things much more miserable for them. Big push into the centre by Bernhardt, his men charting forwards for Germany. Victory. Sauerkraut. I don't like sauerkraut. Just shut up, Wilhelm, for once. Troops pushing forwards here. The Kedmev creeping ahead. Big push there with Jimmy. Old men moving in there. Could consider pressuring elsewhere, but of course he can't so much here. He needs artillery to silence it or some other stuff. He could also just lay down a smoke screen with heavy mortar, in which case he could grab the fuel point. Of course, he might be more concerned with his own fuel point in the south, which of course Bernhardt is much more consistently and aggressively harassing now. Good play the way. He's actually making good use of the Kugelwagen for that. Very good. And certainly as the game progresses, you really want to use the Kugelwagen just for harassing, just taking up territory here and there. In this case, the bit is slow to react. But still, yes, that Kugelwagen has done his part for the fatherland. But it's not going to go any further. Goes for the orbital and again apparently counts there for a brief amount of time, but he is again super close to the Panzer IV, the Panzerkampfwagen 4, Ausführung J, the last model of Panzer IV. In many cases, a simplified and more streamlined model. with a few other changes, including a larger fuel tank, so help give it more range, though they were rather lacking in fuel at that stage, and no turret for the, or generator for the turret, meaning it was hand clanked due to a lack of resources for the turret generators. It's a little fun fact there. Also, initially the Panzer actually had a really slow turret rotation to reflect that, but apparently a lot of people didn't like it, so they can't remove that. Bit of a shame, but I guess not, of course, the end of the world. Panzer 4 on the way, orbital number light machine guns certainly indicates no spec ups. I mean, he could still go for it in the end. Luftwaffe could be good, fortifications could be good for different reasons. We'll see what it ends up with. Victory points, whilst Jimmy said getting a bit more on the lead here with Bernhardt. Closing against the conscript on the northern victory point. Quick plan hand grenade off. An incendiary grenade, which really I don't think was used a lot by the Germans because it's really difficult to find any historical sources on it. In fact, the only website I can find on it was a German one. That's pretty much the only reference you can find to it. The Germans more commonly just used their own Molotovs, which is just produced in like factories. They're basically very dark green bottles. I sort of had some ways of just easily igniting them, as a fun fact. Panzer 4 out there for Bernhardt. Veteran of the Volkskammer is there, very good, very good. Does look like he's lost a squad at some point. Light infantry Geschütz hammering away, trying to silence those filthy allies. Panzer 4 setting up, penalty machine being added for some added into infantry. T7 needs to get away before that one becomes prey for the Panzerkampfwagen. Whoa, mortar round hits the Panzer 4 directly and, well, fails to penetrate. In the actual war, that probably wouldn't have been quite the case. I suspect heavy mortar could actually penetrate the Panzer 4's top armour, since most tanks' top armour wasn't actually very heavy in the first place. Sturmpanzer is almost taken out. Farther up north, we've got Oberson there flanking the heavy mortar, doing great work there for the German army. Probably won't be able to wipe it out, sadly, but still forcing retreat there and almost taken out. It's still going to have an effect there against Jimmy. In the centre here, Panzer 4 getting a damaged engine as it strikes against the Russian hordes. Trying to deal with all those Bolshevik bastards. Fuel plant wise, Jimmy could begin taking up, begin pulling for some armour of his own. Certainly the sooner he can begin putting some pressure back on the Panzer 4, the better. I'm also surprised Jimmy is yet to consider any gasment, but I'm suspecting in this case it basically boils down to the fact he's got 4 conscript squads and feels like he doesn't want to handle more than 4 squads at any time. I could be wrong here, of course, but that would be my, shall we say, professional guess. Also in this case he's sort of focusing more on having support weapons for the conscripts, field guns, mortars, machine guns. Bernhardt there going for the second light infantry gun, opting in for more artillery here, possibly to help, of course, counter the enemy mortar, but also just put more pressure on what else Jimmy has. But I still think Jimmy should be considering taking out for tanks here before Bernhardt begins pulling out for more panzers. T70 on watch there. Heavy mortar finding way around the centre victory point. And he calls in a second heavy mortar, so a lot of, shall we say, light to medium artillery here from both sides, as they're both sort of focusing on, he sort of said, no, he cancelled the light infantry gun himself. So that's going to be 1 light infantry gun versus 2 heavy mortars. Oh dear. That's going to be quite impactful though, and that's going to be quite the bit of support weapons that Jimmy's got going. I mean, he's not pulling for tanks yet, but still, 2 heavy mortars and 2 field guns is going to be a lot of hurt. A lot of hurt. Still, Bernhardt here would be in control of the victory points and the resources. He's still behind, but in terms of victory points, we could probably try and catch up. I'm certain Jimmy's not quite keen on that. Sandbag's almost finished in this case, disrupted by the attack here from Jimmy's. Heavy mortar rain, of course, not really helping the situation out either. Big push into the south there, grabbing all the points, rushing for the centre as well, but right there into the academy through the T70, could lose it, getting stuck here on the victory point. And that's going to be finished here. Bit fortunate for Jimmy. Nice kill though for Bernhardt. And now the Panzer IV striking up north. Both Falcons are caught from an awkward angle. Infantry weapons being pushed out here by the Panzer IV. 7 kills on the Panzerkampfwagen. Of course, we got those hay mortars just blasting away. In the south, a rapid retreat here for Bernhardt, who still has yet to go for Doctrine. Has yet to make any decision in that department. Panzer IV there with 7 kills still. Not really much being added. Looks like an attack to the south here. The Panzer IV backed up by lots of infantry. Is going to make a push for Germany. Deutschland. And there we go. Popping into the house, engaging constant there. We got foot engineers flanking up the footsteps with a flanker. Very good work there. Dogfield setting out as well. Heavy mortar fire, of course, further making things difficult here for infantry to back up. Bernhardt's Panzer IV. And Panzer, of course, with the Dogfield is about to struggle to support the infantry. So, potentially a strong defense here for Jimmy, unless Bernhardt pulls off, some say, a good smoke screen here with the line infantry gun. Could obscure the line of fire of the field's line of Panzer IV to rush in. And then the infantry can follow up behind of that. There you go, some kills being happening there. It looks like the line gun having a bit of an impact. Push for the heavy mortars, but it is a very slow push, and there you go. Sturmpanzer is caught, wiped out by the heavy mortar. And the active gone for double. They're losing immediately one. Not good, not good. Bit of loss there for Bernhardt. Panzer IV being fixed up. He can soon go for another one. Of course, at this stage, he could be planning a command path, and nope, he seems to be actually aiming for a King Tiger. With the timing here, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. It's not necessarily a bad choice, but I do feel like you should just try and pressure him over with armor now. Or get up another anything going that way, put some more pressure on the support weapons. But I think just trying to stall for the King Tiger now could be a bit too risky for Bernhardt. A bit too risky. Another hit here from the light infantry guns. Panzer IV moving ahead, more artillery fire. That and fourth field can also get the excellent hit on the Panzer IV. And the south, some fresh work as well. Continuing report, Panzer IV down to less than a quarter of health there. Pretty dangerous situation there for Bernhardt's Panzer IV. He needs to be very mindful of that, of course. Mechanized revenue should be going up soon. He might also just want to go for some repair parties to help him ensure he doesn't have to manage repairs of his tanks as well. Jimmy and Henderson can be pushing with the T-45, which is definitely a problem there for Bernhardt. So much here mortar fire though. Those mortars are really just making an impact on Bernhardt, who's almost controlled the rest of the map quite excellently so far. More Sturmpanzer is an interesting choice, in particular when you consider he's already going for the Mechanized Regiment, so I'm guessing he's not going for the Sturmpanzer for the repairs. I mean, he could still be, but it seems less likely maybe? Certainly a slightly interesting force composition he's got going then. And there you go, Jimmy going for the first T-45 of the battle. I mean, when you go for T-45, you're likely not going to stop at 1. It's like opening up a nice bag of crisps and, getting to them up. You can't just stop at 1. Similarly, when you open up a nice tank company of T-45s, you just can't stop at 1. You just keep, calling them in. Panzer fighting Norfolks. Here, Morse one back for healing reinforcement. Maybe also on the contrary, their light machine gun laying down some heavy fire, except of course they had to reload it. Volkswagen tanks in the south here with Sturmgewehr held in hand tightly. Aiming left and right, it's advancing rations. Volkswagen they need to be, I think, very strict about retreating. Progress being overwhelmed, and we got the T-45 setting out there. Better chances of the Panzer IV. Certainly could also put the stall for the King Tiger plan into a bit of an issue, because he's only got the Panzer one single kidnapper team to stop the T-45, which when backed up with double heavy mortars and double field guns could possibly get a bit tricky there. So stalling for the King Tiger is going to be pretty risky here for Bernhardt. I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's not going to be easy. No, he goes for the Stukas first instead, so at least he's not stalling. He's going to go for the Stukas first, at least that way deal with Jimmy's support weapons. Still not necessarily the most amazing choice. Part of me thinks just going for the light infantry guns, but Stukas of us though can do it. In particular, the way that Jimmy's bunching up his field guns right next to each other, it does give the Stukas of us increased chance of actually being quite effective here. So I mean, I could definitely applaud the Stukas of us now more than I could go straight for the King Tiger. Forward north, this jump is being repulsed by the T-45. 1 kill so far. Stukas almost done. T-45 moving about as well, and we got flares up. We got spec ups in fact out here for Bernhardt now. Bit of a late choice there, but of course still effective. All those infiltration grenades, so for example, will be pretty effective. Flares, of course, will be handy. And in theory, we're to go from orbitals diving in for assault rifles, could of course also prove to be excellent tools for the destruction of Marxist scum. Jimmy there can, well, if he begins losing units, can actually go for another T-45. Otherwise, he's active full pop cap here. So many supportants, so it does drag up some of the, well, pop cap. Whoa! Not a bad strike there. I mean, he got a lot of damage and some kills there, but didn't actually wipe any support over him. But still, it does force retreat here. He can't really quite pursue and deal with the T-45 though, despite all of that. Since he's next round, the forces in the air attack to make the push. Right now, the Bound is actually on the defensive versus Jimmy, who secured most of the map, getting the bleed back on the fascists. Heading northwards there to counter-attack. But we got a machine gun nearby which could easily just dig in there. Would require more resources from Bernhardt to flush out and deal with. Pushing centre and south as well. In fact, he's just attacking as many points as possible. Bit risky there in some ways for Bernhardt, unless there's some sort of bigger plan going on with it. Signal of the way is also not got a lot of movement on, meaning he's of course easy target for the Immortus. We got the forces caught here by Kevin creeping up. Landing a good hit on the T-45 Panzer moving in. It's going to likely wreck the cover there for the Fultz Grenadiers. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah. It's going to happen. T-44 does successfully escape here. The grasp of Bernhardt, but only for now. Might want to grab the victory point there, since one being reclaimed here by Jenny by the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps. Fixing up the Panzer IV as swiftly as possible. Lands gone there with 6 kills. A mortar so far, at least one's got 11 kills. Not too shabby at all. And go here in the cove point, digging in with a lot of infantry, though we got Bernhardt there victoriously counter-attacking, tearing through the Russians. What he's hoping to. There you go, grenade assault though. No, just a regular incendiary grenade. Would have figured a grenade assault. He actually trying to catch as many as possible. Didn't work out. Panzer hitting a mine. Really bad at the moment. He's trying to get the T-45, but instead commits into mine. Gets caught of course with the double field guns and then gets wiped out there. Definitely not a good move there by Bernhardt. Should have expected mines, to be honest. And should have been very careful when there's the possibility of double field guns. I think he's trying to take out the field guns, but rather too slow there, and I guess in this case Jimmy sort of saw through him easily. So not good development there for Bernhardt. Lost his Panzer IV without really doing any serious harm in return here to Jimmy. Stukas on watch. Constantly sending him up. We got the field guns already. He's destroying the field gun. He wants nothing of this fascist trickery. Another T-45 for Jimmy, and mindful again. Bernhardt here's absolutely nothing. He's probably going to go for the Command Panther, but that's still going to be 1 Command Panther versus 2 T-45s backed up, possibly by 2 field guns. Oh, grenade assault here. Petro, Yuri, Dmitri, Vasily, all dead. Nice throw there by Bernhardt. Very nice throw. Seizing the point here. Up north point, they're being seized as well. 8 kills in the Stukas of us. quite on the same level as, say, those two heavy mortars. Yeah, go second T-55 out there for Jimmy and the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps, putting more pressure on Bernard and the 3rd SS. More sandbags up. Bit risky, of course, to dig in like this in the face of heavy mortars, so... But right now, these are all just in a threatening situation here versus Jimmy, who's in control of a lot of things. Bernhardt, I think, definitely needs to pull through with something. There you go, Command Panther ready. Vorwärts, Achtung Panzer. I said Achtung Panzer. Ah, scheiße. There you go, hits a mine. Can he punish it? No, because his Command Panther's yet to hit the field, and as he's stalling after King Tiger, he isn't. So there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5. Befehlspanzerwagen. Gefechtsbereit. Oberst Walter Wilhelm Kleinkopf meldet sich für Dienst. Forces moving about here, Command Panther backing up. Field guns firing way up north here, we got a few jump years being overwhelmed by country, we need to retreat those pretty much now. T-54 moving about, need to get the Command Panther. He says, I think a bit skittish, he's aware he might lose the Panther like he lost the Panther, which course would be catastrophic. Lost his jump as the north wasn't paying attention. There you go though. Command Panther lands easily on the T-35, the high velocity 75 in the gun, easily penetrating the armour of the T-35. Big 2 punch wise is stabilising a bit, but still looking a bit rough here for Bernhardt. Well, that was not one of the worst rocket strikes. Did 5 kills, but ultimately again didn't really like permanently silence some of the support weapons. Still not a bad strike at all. Certainly highlights that Jimmy might be stinking his support weapons a bit too closely together. T-54 get straight into the line of fire. The Panther, there you go. Shoots, misses. Shots fired there. Panther was shooting at. I think the T-54 missed, it was just auto shoot at the infantry, but either way missed. T-54 doing what they can to help back up the troops, they're allowing them to fall back more safe in the face of Bernhardt's defences up north. Push here, we got the overside, we got a bun grenade off. Right here, probably would have recommended the Blenkerber, since that would obscure the line of fire. Basically acted as a Molotov as well. Instead he popped a bun grenade, which the Blenkerber much easily did, you know, just dodge, but he can still pop the Blenkerber if he wants to. But by now it's going to be too late, we got the T-54 moving in already here. Stukas of Fus taking some time for him to fire again. Command Panther 8 to fight. So far, Bernhardt's holding a bit back in tactical reserves. 7 kills in the light infantry gun. Veterans here 2. Closing in on Veterans here 3. Stukas was almost got 2 again. Let's see if we can end a much bigger hit here. Big 2 points wide, still Bernhardt's in the head here of Jimmy at the moment. But of course, Jimmy's most intent on turning that around. Of course, they need to be careful. Got the field and backing up. PT for moving ahead, infantry as well. Big push here from Jimmy though. Technically making himself a really big Stukas target, and this could be an excellent opportunity for Bernhardt to punish him for it. Panther taking some hits so far. Stukas is just enjoying a nice cup of coffee. Alongside that nice thing the Germans always like to dip into their coffee, sauerkraut. Yeah, I don't think so. Then again, I've heard the Germans do many weird things with food. Anyways, need that Panther fixed up. Possibly missed opportunity, then again he might just decide he didn't connect to make it, though I think he could have been effective, he maybe landed a decent strike. But right now, Jimmy's in control of most of the map, he is in command of the field. Except that tree. That tree is commanded by no one. That flies. It defies the laws of gravity how it wants to. No matter how much Stalin says no to it. T-54's moving ahead here, Panther turning around to shoot, and there we go, penetrating hit there. Both T-55s on the field to hit or penetrate. We got a T-55 just following up here for Jimmy, and there goes Stuka's fire. Damage in the T-55, possibly man went off there. Could possibly take it out here with the Panther field, which is nearby, providing covering fire, making it a much harder here for push in. Unless he can clear out the field guns there. Grenade assault might be able to do it. Then again, his men are getting obliterated here by heavy mortar fire and T-35 fire. Still, he's pulling ahead, and he's successfully herding away the field guns with his infantry, at least to a degree. Push up north there with some infantry, could probably get away with heading to the south as well. 14 kills, veterans 1 there, Stukas of Fuzz. Line figure gun there, still at 7 kills. Heavy mortar there with 15 kills and 6 kills. And third, the T-55 is almost done there for Bernhardt. Oh no, for Jimmy. Bernhardt might want to consider either another Panzer IV. He could also go for the Yak Panzer. Theoretically going for double Panthers here, but that could take a bit too long here. And he might need to pressure his opponent more. But I do think, you know, the faster you can get out some armor, the better. So this is his Panther. Orbison Bauer could benefit, I think, a lot from booby traps to take the hit of mine. But it seems to be someone who's been very consistent about always wanting to Sturm Pioneer squads. You rarely see that from a lot of Robo Commandos players, so it is fun to note there from Bernhardt. T-55 moving up, backed up, another T-55. We got engineers playing out, moving up here, supported by heavy mortars. Command Panther shoots and doesn't quite land the hit that needs to. Another shot, missed. And a unit white, in fact, looks like it's the Orbital Dardan who bit the dust up north. Guess he wasn't paying attention into a mine or something else. Lots of mines there from Jimmy, by the way, excellent work. He's also lost the country squad. Seems like, again, as part of some sort of plan, he needs to replace it with a guard squad. So, good work there by Jimmy. But I think it does confirm overall he wants a maximum of 4 squads of infantry to manage. Stuka's first can engage them again, back 2 points wise. Jimmy is, shall we say, slowly falling back here. I mean, Bernhardt's slowly falling behind Jimmy. Are they both falling behind each other? Who knows? Sturmpionier there, veteran T2. 216 versus 201. Jamie slowly, very slowly bleeding out there, but it's very slowly. Contact guard moving ahead, we got the machine gun hanging back there, veteran 3, 8 kills. Panzer 4 there for Bernhardt. He's still going to be up again. Oh, actually, it looks like either T-54 went down or just Jimmy cancelled it. Might have missed that bit out. Yeah, he just cancelled it. Grenade assault here. Getting some good kills on the engineers. Panther sneaks up ahead, getting veterans 1. Stukas was there. Almost doing good against the heavy mortars, but in the end, only killing 2 members. Giving the rest, while wounded, still capable of firing heavy mortar rounds against Bernhardt's lines and men. I mean, it'd be great if a Bernhardt could silence the heavy mortars and steal them. That'd be amazing. There's a small chance of getting one of the heavy mortars at least. There we go. He's going to nab it. He should be nabbing it at least. He's almost got the second one. He's still not trying to grab the first one. Ah, he only wiped them, but he never stole them. I mean, if he can't steal them, in this case where it's the Russians, I don't think wiping them is going to match as an impact as you'd hoped. I mean, it's going to, of course, wipe the veterans away, and that, of course, will help a bit, but I still think just being able to grab one and turn it against Jimmy would be much more impactful. Infantry-wise, Bernhardt needs to replace some of those losses, I think. Some more Orbital Dardan would be great. But we got the Panzer IV out. I just need to wield it. Keep focusing against the Panzer IV. Panther also, of course, backing up there. Needs to attempt to thwart the Russian armoured assault. Another hit there. Very good, very good. Back here in reinforcement. Panzer IV, though, pin up machine gun. Command Panther falling back as well for some repairs. Command Panther setting up. Panzer IV moving in as well. Quick grenade there. Panther shoots, misses. Got the Panzer IV, they're rounding here to the Seaman to assist further, and there you go. Shot fired, bounced off the Panzer Force frontal armor. Heavy artillery around the centre. No real much action in the centre or the flanks anymore. Any sort of great attempt to outmaneuver the other player. Mostly it's just Jimmy there. Bayonet seems to be suffering a bit of much from, I think, tunnel vision here. More artillery fire. He almost got the field guns. Hey, more to retreat. His still other one could be theoretically stolen here. But he needs to put more pressure on the other side. He needs to stop focusing so much in the centre. He needs more fuel. And he needs to deny his opponent fuel. I mean, right now Jimmy's just got so much, but you know, there's still, I think, room to just hit elsewhere. Got the Panther moving up, engaging the T-55 head on. Very good. Command Panther lands a hit as well. Slowly approaching Veteran 2, which is going to be a bit more problem then for Jimmy, since that does mean it becomes tougher, more resilient. Another Panther hit from the field gun. Panther doing what he can. Okay, healing, reinforcement, all that. Fresh Volksgun. There's no attempt at orbital on here for Bernhard though. Ooh, nasty hit there. Almost took out the entire Volksgun squad. Oh, he's not retreating. He's not retreating. There we go. And we got basically both victory points covered here by maximums of conscripts. 30 for the one stand there for Jimmy, though, except he's actually got too many units, so it's sort of at limbo. It's like right beyond it, it's just being totally canned into. But why? I came all the way here, please! Yes, you can't. The regulations. What regulations? Canadian regulations. We're not in Canada. Everywhere is Canada, Conrad, don't you know? Whoa, that was one hell of a maximum there from the Panther Force. Takes out the entire maximum crew. Panther being fixed up, repair party certainly helping out him in terms of management for Bernhard. Bit more pressure on the sides, but still I feel like he's over-focused on the centre. He needs to be more mindful of that. Got Jimmy's Guardsmen holding themselves 40 against the fascist assault of Bernhard. Sturmpionier forces on the move here as well. Gartner close to being taken up, but so the Volksgrenadiers. Both sides, tanks laying down an unrelenting, unceasing fusillade of death. It looks like he just cancelled the T-55, decides he doesn't need it anyways. Basically just telling the driver and crew, who's been spending all the time just to go back. You what? We have to go back now? We're gonna get hit and have a vodka ration taken away from us. Forces are close being wiped out. Need to be careful, need to be careful. Panther though is virtually 2, that's pretty good there. Bernhard could theoretically go for another Panther, in which case he's going to have more armor. He and possibly replenish his Panzer Force and other armor well. He could pull off some pretty good flanks and possibly cause some heavy destruction into Jimmy if. Victory points wise though, Bernhard certainly falling behind Jimmy here. Nice flank hit there from the Panzer 4. Halfway to Veteran 2 with that one, that's pretty good there. The faster you get to Veteran 2 on that one, the better, because it increases the Oberkommander's Panzer Force action. The Wehrmacht Panzer 4 just gets more action, armor, and I think something a bit, whereas the Oberkommander's Panzer 4 basically gains turret rotation speed and better accuracy on the main gun, making it a lot better versus both infantry and armor, but primarily infantry. There we go, the overwhelming here, the isolated T-55, bit of a mistake there with Jimmy. To be honest, he hasn't been playing well, but right, he does seem to extend, and we can see here though, Bernhard playing his Panzer armor a bit more aggressively, also a bit more wolf pack tactics. He will also, run into a bit of issues, but now getting flanked here. Could be better trouble for the Panzer, let's go pull back safely here. Not enough supporting infantry, and they're going to tank grenade off. Damages the Panzer 4 that the Panther is covering up for. We got the field guns and the T-55 moving in. Need to be careful here. Bernhard. Ooh, Stucker's firing down. Gets the field guns. Good God. Nice flare call in there, allowing him to basically set up correctly for this push. Almost got both T-55s. Too risky that you're going for him. Still getting both field guns is a nice, notable low there for Jimmy. Forcing, of course, to send infantry for that, which could leave other areas open here. Up north, Maximus the Volksgrenadiers. Jimmy, I think, should commit to more armor as soon as possible. Another Panther is actually possible now, but another Panzer 4 could also work out. Or he could be setting up for the King Tiger, though I do feel like trying to set up for the King Tiger is now a risk. But there you go, second Panzer IV here, which point he might actually outnumber Jimmy in terms of armoured units, and this could be where Jimmy sort of runs a bit of issues in terms of just having so many support weapons he can't actually, bring up armour. So that might gain numerical superiority. Probably should get the Sturmpanzer to assist. This is kind of where having a lot of Sturmpanzers is great when you got a lot of tanks and die and it repairs fast. Also, further worth noticing, the Command Panther is almost Veteran 3, which of course is really, really bad for Jimmy's armour. Grenade assault, he could be decent just in a grenade. 100 points left here for Bernhardt. Almost got the Panzer already. Almost. Quick skirmishing here. Pushing back the Volksgrenadiere. Panzer IV sets out. Got a lot actually found, but nothing further there. He probably trying to set up for a bigger armoured push here with all of his tanks and make for a nice armoured spearhead. If he can sort of pull off a really good flank, he would do some theoretically heavy damage to Bernhardt before I realise what's going on. But then coordinate with the good Stukas first strike and the flares. But we'll see then. Instead, he's splitting up all of his tanks, which is definitely not what Guderian would recommend. And in fact allows Jimmy to turn tables on the Panzer IV. Not the strongest move there. Stukas was strong here, trying to take on support in the centre. Doesn't quite land as well this time around. Got the Panther moving up to assist against the T-55. Very good, very good. T-55 shoots, misses. Panther up north really should head southwards to assist the other tanks. You should be aiming here for firepower concentration. And we can't really afford to play defensively like this. He needs to, shall we say, cull the forces of Jimmy here with a bit of violence. More forces on the way. Up north, Panzer IV is going to help put back the big infantry pusher that Jim did send into. In this case, it does work out, but Jimmy's still got a lot of forces elsewhere as well. And of course, theoretically, if he just decides to rush both T-55s up here, the Panzer IV is going to be potentially dead. No ace T-55 here for Jimmy. Very good. Panther need repairs again. 31 kills in the Stukas is definitely not bad. Plus Veteran 2 is pretty good there for Bernhardt. Line for down there, Veteran 3. Push for the centre victory point. Smoke's going to be pretty handy, I think, for Bernhardt. But he doesn't quite seem to be, shall I say, big fans of smoke. Panzer south, send in southwards, but we've got the T-55 on the way. And in this case, an ace T-55 mark vehicle going on here. There we go. That could be the loss of the Panzer IV here. Definitely not the best move there by Bernhardt. Should assist, waited for more armour support. Oh, he got lucky there. Shot bounced off point blank. Needs to get the Panther in to support immediately. Another bounce? Wow, he is lucky. Command Panzer in so now the Panther being retreated here from the centre. 95 is 145. I mean, Bernhardt's certainly managed to build up a veteran armoured force, which would definitely give Jim here some headaches, though he's also got his own armoured veterans here. I can just get rid of those field guns. Oh, we got a flare off. He's going to try and predict, I think, when the field gets it up, and he's going to try and take them out with that. Not bad at all. $95 is 142. Almost got the T-55 there with the Panzer IV. God, almost. Fulton's moving up, they're getting wiped, Pushes like a bit too far, they're bound at John Infantry, needs to replace them. Obersoldaten, Fulton's going to do Sturmpanzers, whatever, he just needs more troops. Now. Stukas was firing. I think this time more of desperation than anything. Oh. Almost got the maximum, decided not quite there. Another Panzer IV for Bernhardt. He needs infantry now. I mean, theoretically, a lot of tanks, of course, destroyed, but if you can't grab the points, which the tanks can do, it's not going to matter. We might lose another infantry squad here. Seems like Banner's a bit struggling again. He's over-focusing the centre for getting the southern victory point, the northern victory point. More Sturm Pioneers there for Bernhard. Good, good. But he needs to fight for the victory points. He needs to fight hard. Otherwise, I fear he will not fare too well. But there you go. Lands the next hit on the wipe. Then the conscripts wiping up north there. Bit too bunched up. Plus eventually 2 Panzer 4 again with increased accuracy. Just obliterating them. Nice work there. Another T for the final way for Jimmy. Close to 24 on that. Lactis Infanterie Schutz. 74 points left. And up north they're pushing here. Veteran 2 Panzer 4 slightly holding it off. Armor wise again he's a bit scattered. Push to the southern one, just a regular Panzer 4 there. Command Panthers up by north by the veteran Panzer 4, meaning the T for as well as its ace level is going to easily be able to overpower the Panzer 4, so a bit risky here. 50 points left, fielding less than lands, an excellent hit there on the Panzer 4. 48 points left. Panzer 4 close to the veteran 3, which is pretty good. Panther moves support. Might be able to overwhelm the Panzer 4. He moves in to deal with it. Of course, it's going to be a bit risky. There you go. Panther going for it. T for the 5 there, taking hits. Oh, missed. Another hit there. Veteran 3, Panzer 4. Great stuff here. Great stuff. Sigmund also backed up, caused by the veteran bonus of the command tank. Of course, going to make it even more lethal. And if we get that, the veteran 3 command pad, then back up the veteran 3 Panzer 4. That Panzer 4 is going to have a high rate of fire, which could be quite devastating there for any armor infantry that might be nearby, and of course coming under fire from that Panzer 4 because that's going to fire fast. 32 points left. Bernhardt, I think, needs to step it up a bit here.
Supply sector under attack.
There you go, engaging troops. That Panzer 4 is just obliterating stuff. 24 kills, close to 24. At the end, the center, we've got to push it. Panzer 4 engaging the T for 5% of victory point there. Being grabbed. 27 points left here for Bernhardt. Moving in, the Panzer 4 needs to keep something to guard the northern victory point. Needs more infantry though. Needs more infantry. Moving up the command Panther. Back up with the Panzer 4. There we go. Engaging the T for 5 head on. Panzer 4 moving in. Almost got it. There we go. Victory 4. Panzer 4. Backed up again by the command Panther. As you might notice again, the Panzer 4 shoots pretty fast now. Hit here from the field gun on it. Trying to catch up. Not quite landing it. Stugas was firing here on all the bunched up support weapons. Could possibly land some wipes here with a bit of good luck. Close, but not quite there, not quite. Panther being pushed back, almost taken out here in the south. Panzer 4 moving about. Almost got the AST for 5 Panzer blitzing away. Panzer 4 there swiveling about with its turret. And there you go, got the T-45 there. Jimmy's losing tanks fast, but problem is Bernhardt losing victory points faster. 28 kills there on the Panzer 4. Shot bounced off the T-45's frontal armor, or Panther's frontal armor. The T-45 sadly is not bouncing anything. Not even jokes. 29 kills on the Panzer 4. Still needs more infantry. I think he's too preoccupied what's going on to just call in more infantry, whatever. Source, again, Oberstdorf can be useful here just for having some boots on the ground. 20 points left. Jimmy's forces are being battered, but he still has the victory point lead, and Bernhardt just can't get enough troops out to grab the victory points fast enough. It seems. There we go. He's beginning to go for full screen. Still shoot, I think, go for Oberstdorf. His armor calls need repairs as well. Northern victory point was utterly open here. Successfully defended the center victory point. So let's get the north and south one here. 30 kills on that Panzer 4. Veteran 4 command Panther, by the way. Oh dear. And now apparently can support the Panzer 4 here, so that one has higher range and a good rate of fire on top of everything. And a good big push in the south here with the T-45 Panzer 4 shoots. Excellent hit, but takes a penetrating hit in return. Need to get the Panther in support. Another hit there from the Panther 4 again. High rate of fire. Blitzkrieg, by the way, I believe makes it even faster, so he can actually shoot off pretty fast there. It only lasts for a few seconds, but still, that got off a couple of shots rapidly on the T-45 stage. Certainly, I imagine giving Jim a bit of a shock. Stuka's Rush can fire again and catch those field goals and make a push. He might have a chance here, but still, victory points wise, he's taking out Northern victory point. They're being rushed again. He needs more troops, machine guns, whatever, but he actually can't now. He's got too much of everything else. There you go, moving ahead with the Command Panther and the Panzer IV. 18 points left here. T4 being pushed back. Another hit there. Field guns up. Can he get the Stuka's Rush to hit? There we go. Firing, I imagine. Jimmy's holding out for the Red Army. Field gun swing about there. Oh, Stuka versus gets at least one field gun. Bad news. They're about to lose one T-54, possibly to the Panther or the Panzer IV. Oh, hits the other one. Grenades off on the field gun there. Down it goes. No field guns left here for Jimmy. His forces are being annihilated. Victory points for us. So he's got the bleed on Bannon, who's not realizing what's going on, I think. He's sending troops northwards. Almost got the other T-45 here. Good God. Can he destroy Jimmy? Oh, he's rushing for the Sun victory point again. Bannon is just focusing on the armor. He's not focusing on the victory points. Panzer IV rushing in there. He's more or less, in fact, destroyed Jimmy. He's got nothing left almost, but victory points wise, Bannon's almost got nothing left. In fact, he's almost a full pop cap. He's got Veterancy 5 Panzer IVs, Veterancy 4 Command Panthers, and he's still losing. Oh no. At least it looks like he's losing. He's rushing for the south, he's rushing for the north, but in the end, it's not fast enough, and Bernard loses despite, I would say, one hell of a recovery there by the late game. Again, more or less almost full pop cap, but sadly lost a bit of sight. They did more or less total annihilation. I mean, look at that. He's got so little left, yet he's still won. Absolutely crazy fight here between Bernard and Jimmy. Really close win there for Jimmy. I'd say that was probably the closest shave he'll ever have in his entire life. I can guarantee it. It's a really nice play there. I think overall the issue for Bernard was just over-focus on the central point, and then not so much on the rest of the map, and then we finally had his armor superiority, while he, I would say, did alright with it. In the end, he then lost sight of the victory points and lost because of that. He probably also benefited from orbital dart and some mines here and there, possibly some other bits. But still, an exciting fight, a riveting fight here between these two high-ranked players. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is Imperial signing off, and see you all another time for another video. Bye.